Hi, I'm Veronica. I'm a somatic teacher and therapist, and I would like to show you a series of practices that are aimed to release your psoas. And I'm far from choosing one particular part of the body or especially one muscle and kind of over concentrating on it without looking at the connections with other body parts. But the psoas, which is like a pair of muscles, and the only ones that connect the upper and the lower part of the body, is quite unique for a couple of reasons. So one is just what I said, is actually the only muscle that connects the lower and upper portion of the body, but it also is a muscle that will be very much related to the tension that you might feel or some restrictions that you might feel in your diaphragm, which is your main breathing muscle. It might connect to what you feel in the lower back or somewhere else along the back line of the fascia. It likes to turn on as this main kind of fight or flight response muscle. So every time you're stressed, you're kind of ready to go. And as it helps you with moving, that's the one that turns on. So that chronic tension there creates quite a bit of a trouble that can actually affect later on various sections of the body. So I'll show you a few of my favorite psoas moves. And the first one will be done lying on the back. So as usual, you can take your time with making your way down. You can always spend here a moment, maybe roll around, give body time to settle here, to feel that it has the full support from the earth. And actually, even before you start working on soil, you might kind of work it out whether you need it that much. And a very easy way to find out is if you begin with your knees bent and feet on the mat. Usually that's if you checked how close your lower back is to the ground, it will be touching now. And then if you kept a hand there and started moving slowly, sliding away your heel, you might start feeling that the leg starts pulling on your back. And there you go. There is that arch in the lower back created. And this is due to that tension shortening in the psoas, or in general in that fascia line in the front of the thigh and hip. So you could try it out on one side and on the other side. And if you feel that arch being created, then you know, okay, yes, there's definitely something to work on. Okay, so the first thing you can do is to pick up one foot. Maybe to begin with, you can make some little circles with that knee in the air. And then let that leg settle closer, let that thigh settle closer towards your belly, towards your chest. Then you can place your hands somewhere below the knee. And you will feel that when that happens, your lower back comes really close to the ground. Check that you are not really tensing up your shoulders or the arms or the hands, simply rest there. And we'll begin with pelvic tilt. So if you are not sure what are pelvic tilts, there are plenty of videos where I show it. But basically, it's the movement of the pelvis where if you tilt the pelvis forward, it will create the arch in the spine. And if you tilt the pelvis backwards, that will bring your lower back closer towards the ground. So here, the movement will come from the pelvis. So the leg is being taken on that right. And you can actually assist that movement or emphasize it with your breath. So every time you inhale, it's as if your belly was pushing that thigh away from you. And when you exhale, the belly settles towards the mat, and that also allows your thigh to drop towards your belly. So you're not pushing the leg in with your arms. As I said, your arms simply stay there. The only reason why your arms are there is that if you didn't have them, your leg would drop down because leg is passive here as well. Okay, so this is like a first part of it. And then you can let go of the hands. You can let that foot drop to the ground. And the second part goes as this. You slide that leg away, keep it straight, and you will feel that that lower back arches. You can let that happen. And in fact, you carry on with the same pelvic tilts. So you rotate the pelvis forward, creating that big arch. That's your inhale. And then you tilt the pelvis backwards, bringing the lower back closer to the ground. If you have a lot of tension in the psoas, you will feel it as a gentle tugging in the front. So there's an inhale when the pelvis rotates, exhale when the lower back comes closer towards the ground. And I always like to make it a whole body movement rather than isolating it just to a section of the body. So you can add to that the upper body and move the arm over the head, the same arm as the long leg, so that it creates this kind of big arch and big opening on the inhale, and then everything kind of releases, the limbs release, and the lower back comes towards the ground when you exhale. So the inhale is that big arch and sort of moving away from the midline of the body. Exhale is when the lower back comes towards the ground. Just a couple of times is enough, and then you can release the arm. And you can again bring it to the chest. Usually there is quite a difference in where it lands, where the thigh can get after that few simple moves. And it also changes the sensation around the how much of that tagging there is in the back. So you can do this one on one side. Maybe check how is it now. Before, was there a pull? Was there a lot of that arch? Maybe now already there's a difference. For me, definitely there's a difference. And then you can try the other side. So exactly the same thing. You could first pick up that foot, make a few little movements with that knee in the air. Then let that leg come closer towards you. Check how close it wants to come at this point. You can place the hands below the knee. Check that the shoulders, arms are relaxed. And start that pelvic tilt. Inhale, the belly pushes the thigh away, so the leg moves away from you and the spine arches. And exhale, the leg returns without you pulling it. It just returns because your belly sinks, because your lower back comes closer towards the ground. So inhale. The leg moves away because of the pelvis tilting. Exhale, leg returns because of your pelvis moving. You can do it a couple of times. Allowing the breath to be the one that is leading you. And after a while, you can drop that leg and then slide the leg long and continue. Inhale, arch, exhale, lower back towards the ground. There might be a difference. You might feel a little bit more of that pulling and tugging on the other side, and you will know which side is more restricted. And I definitely encourage you to join that movement with the upper body as well, make it a whole body movement. There's a little bit of that opening and of the whole line and arching when you inhale, and then the limbs relax and the lower back comes towards the ground when you exhale. Just a few times, you really don't need to do it very long. Then you can release the arm, you can bend that knee, and maybe bring it again. You might feel the difference where it lands that second time, how close it comes. And then when you land with that foot again, give yourself a moment to feel the right side, left side of the pelvis of the lower back. And how is it when you slide that leg away? Does it pull the lower back with it the same way? Maybe it's a little bit lower, maybe it's much closer to the ground now. Compare. Okay. You might even check how it would be to be with both legs long, how much of that pulling, arching happens. I have issues with the psoas. Normally there would be this lift and a pull in my lower back. No, I don't really experience it. It's actually quite comfortable. So this is one of the movements. It doesn't take long. It's quite effective, but it might be that some other movements would be better for you. So stay tuned as there will be more parts to this mini series about the psoas. I hope that you enjoyed it, and please let me know in the comments below if it worked out for you. I post one video every Monday morning, so don't forget to subscribe. And if you'd like to know more about somatic practices and how your emotional health and how the stress can affect your health, physical, mental health, and what you could do about it, then I definitely recommend you to join my newsletter with kindness, which I send out also every week and where I share a lot about that. So if you're interested, there will be a link in the description below. Have a lovely day. Thank you very much.